Ahead, you can see that the dirt road splits in two, widening towards the east. And there you can see patches of cobblestone, suggesting that the eastern branch was once an important thoroughfare. I will take you to the next scene in a moment. But before you, after marching a little further onwards, parked at the fork in the road, pointed east, is a large black carriage drawn by two black horses. The horses snort puffs of steamy breath into the chill mountain air. The side door of this carriage swings open silently. You all look on as a man steps from the carriage ahead. He is tall, gaunt, and dressed in finery befitting a man of aristocratic, even royal stature. A black cloak is pulled neatly up around his shoulders, tied at the neck by a blood-red brooch. His scarlet tunic is worked with intricate designs, and his hair is pulled back into a sharp and immaculate widow's peak. His eyes are dark, and as he moves to adjust the ruby at his neck, you see that his fingernails form long, elegant claws. It is only then that you realise that his skin is pale, unnaturally so, and that his eyes glint with a deep, intelligent hunger. Ismark steps forward with one hand on his sword, and Irina gasps, "No, it is daytime! It shouldn't be possible!" Ismark turns towards you all with a horrified expression. A chorus of feral snarls alerts you to the underbrush, where you spot a pair of piercing amber eyes, and then another, and another. More and more eyes begin to appear in the darkness, almost too many to count, as the figures reveal themselves to be a pack of terrible wolves. They are flanking this man, and each matching his steps as they glare upon you, open-mouthed and with expression of a ravenous hunger. The man's eyes are wide, and his nostrils flare like a bat's as he fixes his gaze directly at Irina. She stiffens up, and he smiles at her, but there is no warmth in it. The hunger in his eyes is unforgettable, though, as he continues to glare at her. But then he turns to you. You can feel the weight of his gaze upon you as he regards each of you in turn. The Iron Oath. I have heard many tales of your esteemed band. I am Count Strahd von Zarovich, Lord and ruler of Barovia. It is a pleasure to meet you at last. How do you react?
Farah has got shivers. She's put her hand on her weapon, but she doesn't really know how to react.
I got a bit confused. Did you say these wolves are staring ravenously at us or him?
You. Definitely not him.
Right.
You.
So when you said they were flanking him, I was like,
They're flanking him as they're surrounding
they're
him.
around.
Yeah.
Nigel Rage? No.
No, Nigel. No!
He steps forwards.
How close is he?
He's about 10 feet away.
Oh,
He's coming. Does it look offensive?
No, just walking calmly towards you. The wolves are now staying at that distance, about 20 feet behind, and he's approaching on his own.
Neville steps forward.
Okay.
Mr. Strahd! I've heard so much about you.
He kind of smiles for a second. Says, Mr. Daggerson, correct?
Yes. I see you know me.
A man born in squalor who found riches. A self-proclaimed, self-made man. He smiles again. You are not quite one with this group, are you?
Well, you know, we're all odds and sods, but we work together well enough.
Well, it is my pleasure to make your acquaintance. I would be most interested in picking that brain of yours sometime.
Well, I mean, we can certainly have a chat. What brings you out here?
He holds his hand up slightly. Neville, can you please make a wisdom saving throw?
Sure.
Ooh.
Okay. Even with that, Neville,
Mhm.
you are now charmed.
Wait,
I was charmed before, so...
Oh shit.
we saw that though, right?
You do a perception check. See if you
Or did-
noticed it.
Religion or
Hmm.
Gotta say, I didn't think
You-
we'd be meeting Strahd this early.
So, you do not notice it, Ostred, I'll say that.
Can we all do one?
hold his hand up, right?
He only very slight movement of the hand. I think Neville
Enough
would
for
have
a
spotted
passive
it.
perception.
Feel free to roll a perception check if you want, but it wouldn't be passive perception, I'll tell you that now.
Pitch isn't looking, he's averting his eyes like he's been told to.
Nope, you don't know.
Have we been told to?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah.
I feel like the charm has been kind of wasted, because Neville had no intention on hurting him anyway. Seems like a nice chat.
Fine.
I feel like
Um,
that's not what's gonna happen.
You now regard Strahd as a trusted friend to be heeded and protected, Neville.
Yeah.
You will take Strahd's requests and actions in the most favourable way, and if Strahd would like to, you would happily let him bite you. I'll say that much.
Let him what?
Sorry,
Bite.
let him what?
You would let him bite you.
Well, you know, what's the nibble between friends?
Exactly what I.
He looks to you, Neville, and he says, I do hope the son of Kolian has showed you the proper introductions to my domain. I do apologize for any folk stories or tales of legend he may have told about me.
Oh, well, yeah, as I said, we've heard a lot about you, but not all of it was nice, I can tell you that.
He kind of looks around to the rest of the group, and each of you, whenever his eyes pause upon you, a primal sense of fear shakes your very core as each fibre of your being forces you to attention like a prey animal spotting a predator in the brush. And then he blinks and your chest slightly burns as you realise you can breathe once more. He smiles at you, Neville, and then he's like, "It is a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Daggerson. Why not introduce me to your friends, yes?"
No, the pleasure's all mine.
And he walks along one by one with you, Neville in hand. And before you even have a chance to introduce Farah up first, he just looks to her and says, "Farah Felmir, is it not?"
What of it? What are you doing in this forest?
It's on a-
She's not looking at him.
I will say it's on a
properly.
main path. It's not. You're not in the middle of a forest. It is a.
Okay.
You are on the main
Okay.
path still.
Okay.
It has been a long time since a child of the Feywild has arrived in my lands, and a wielder of the old magics, no less.
Mm,
How fascinating! Please do a wisdom save for me, Farah.
yep.
It's fine, everything's fine.
Ooh. With that roll, you manage. You feel this urge underneath you pulling at you, and you manage to just shake it off slightly, and you sort of fall back, and it's this hot, you sense of like horrible exhaustion falling over you, and she's just looking at him.
She just gives him a small growl as she sort of falls over.
Yeah, he just smiles towards you, and he's like,
What, Farah fell over?
mm-hmm. She sort of fell
Right.
backwards.
It's going to cast Turn Undead.
Oh shit!
Okay, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, because it's if she fell over, he's doing something to her, and he doesn't trust the undead, so has to. So he holds up his topaz and turns undead.
Okay. You try and take the effect, and it doesn't work.
Cool.
He turns to you, Ostred, and he's like,
Strahd looks away.
turns to you, and he's like, a good try, my friend. The strong-willed dwarven man that I have heard so much about is... It is so interesting to see you in person. He looks down at the topaz that's hanging around your neck, Ostred. Says, the champion to Dunathoin tries to turn me. I've studied your Dunathoin with great interest. It is so rare that his followers come to Barovia. Tell me, champion of Dunathoin, for I have always wondered. Do you feel his presence in my domain? Can you do a wisdom check for me, please, Ostred?
Strahd just looks away and doesn't say anything. Though.
That's fine. So you do feel Dunathoin's presence still, but you know at this point that it's noticeably weaker than what you're used to.
Yeah.
Strahd kind of looks at you and sees you looking away and sees a slight grimace on your face. And he just says, disconcerting, isn't it? His mouth sort of curls into a grin. He walks along to you, Pitch, and looks at you. Do you avert your gaze as well?
Yeah, he's been keeping his eyes down this whole time.
Surathos, or I believe you prefer the moniker of Pitch, correct? You say anything?
No, I think Pitch is like trembling at this point, and his hand's in his pocket on the orb.
He looks towards you, and he puts one of his claws on your chin. And he says, I take it you are a lover of music based on that title, and the viol you carry on your back. Yes?
It has given me comfort in dark times and dark places.
He places a hand on your shoulder and he says, music is truly a language we can all understand. He turns to Nigel, and he walks over and says, the great half-Goliath Nigel. My friends tell me you have suffered greatly. I am sorry to say that I do not think what you seek lies within my domain. My deepest condolences. And then he finally turns towards Helen and says, and last, but by certainly no means least, Helen Terra, a woman of great martial capabilities. He smiles. Do you look at him, Helen? Or and Nigel, did you look at him as well, or are you averting your gaze?
Yes.
You do look at him, okay.
Yep.
Can you please perform a wisdom saving throw for me then, please?
You must be joking.
And Helen, are you looking at him? Holy
Nigel!
shit. Again, you feel this horrible sense come over you, Nigel. And again, much like Farry, resist it and move back for a second. And he smiles and he's like, how fascinating. I suppose the moniker of weak Nigel is one you have definitely earned.
Bit rude.
Next to you, Helen. Helen, are you looking at him, did you say?
No.
No, okay, you're averting your eyes. He says to you, I would be most interested in a sparring match sometime. As he looks towards all of you, he sort of takes a few steps back, almost circling around. I do appreciate all your efforts to transport my beloved Irina across my domain. The road can be a dangerous place. What do any of you reacting at this point? Describe to me what each of you are doing.
Nigel will step in front of Irina and sort of like shield her.
Farah's just trying to get up off the floor, but she's shaking a bit.
Ostrek's going back to stand with Blunt.
Okay.
Pitch has slowly taken the orb out of his pocket to hold by his side.
Farah's got a hand on a weapon as she stands up.
It's
Neville's
Mark.
kind of standing near Strahd in just a friendly, like,
Yeah.
hey buddy,
You feel like this is your best friend. What's going on?
yeah, I mean, you're certainly not wrong. You should have seen yesterday, there were a bunch of zombies in the river. Oh, it was a right mess that was.
He's barely paying you mind, and
Like all of Neville's friends.
he looks to you, Neville, as you're talking, though. He says, well, for performing such a noble task, I will leave you with a parting gift. And he beckons you to come closer.
Oh, what? Oh, you're too kind. We've only just met.
Farah doesn't move. She sort of growls a little bit.
As you all see Neville walking up towards Strahd, and he sort of presents his neck towards him.
Can Nigel grab Neville and pull him back?
You can certainly try if you'd like.
Yeah, that's what he tried to do.
He's a little
No.
distance away, so...
And you sort of run forwards and grab Neville. And Strahd looks to you, Nigel, says, no need to be so rude, Mr. Nigel. And do another wisdom saving throw.
Oh shit. Nigel's gonna get his blood sucked.
And with
Yep.
that, this time you feel the effects of the charm take hold of you. And you're running forwards to Neville and you're like, why am I running forwards? Like, this is just hanging out with some good friends.
They're hanging out with some cool dudes.
Alright, Nige, why'd you want to hold me hand?
We good friends. We go visit Strahd together.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Oh.
He smiles and he's like, that's better. I do enjoy a visitor who knows his place. And then he'll approach you, Neville, presenting your neck, and he will lean over and you will see as Strahd bites into Neville's neck. Neville, you take...
Exactly one hickey.
3 hickey damage.
You take 7 points of piercing damage and 5 necrotic damage.
Oh shit, so 12. Oh, that tickles.
He wipes the blood from his mouth and looks on at the rest of you. And then turns to...
Farah is
Go on.
so really angry.
Then he turns to Nigel. If you would please.
No,
Mr.
thank you.
Nigel.
Take me on date first.
But you just, as you try and resist Nigel, you feel the urge to just reveal your neck to him.
Ostred's going to shoot one of the horses with his crossbow.
Okay. Make an attack roll for me.
Oh shit, my maximum hit points go down as well.
Okay.
I was going to say this is a terrible idea. I shouldn't have done that because now, if you start to attack Strahd, I have to attack you, and I'm the strongest one.
One, you shoot the crossbow into the side of the horse, and the horse rears up and starts wincing in pain. Strahd looks to you, Ostred.
Ostred looking away.
He just looks at you, and then he turns to Nigel. And he bites in.
Farah is flinching. She's sort of stepping slightly forward. She's conflicted.
Dealing. Oh, fuck's sake, it's weird with the... I don't know why it rolls naturally with advantage. I'm just going to roll it separately, because this is not obviously not working properly. So dealing 1d6. Dealing a total of 23 points of damage to you, Nigel.
Oh, fuck.
He moves away.
Pitch just shouts out, Nigel!
It's okay. We're good friends.
Yeah, don't worry, everything's fine.
Yeah, Neville, you're like almost struggling to stand after that. He looks to the rest of you, and then he keeps his eyes on you, particular Ostred, and then looks back around. Well, the rest of your journey is long and arduous. I do wish you all luck, and I eagerly await our next encounter. And he goes to the horse and pulls out the arrow from the horse, who again riles up and sort of winces in pain. And he turns around and looks directly at you, Ostred. And he says, "Oh, and before I leave, I do hesitate to do this, as I do not wish for our relationship to get off on the wrong foot. However, there is one thing that I cannot tolerate within my domain, and that is rudeness.
You just bit our friends.
I'm a merciful lord, though, so I will give you 3 minutes." And he turns his attention towards the wolves. You can now see, Ostred, there is probably 20 of them minimum. He then he just looks towards Ostred after looking at them, and he says, "Make him bleed." And that's where we'll end today's session.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Ah!
Oh my god!